Hello friends, welcome to Insights Icon Initiative. In today's video, we are going to discuss about India journey in COP meeting. COP stands for Conference of Parties. Why we are discussing about this COP meetings now? Now let's see the video components. Later, we will discuss about why we are discussing this particular topic in today's video. So in this particular video components, we are going to discuss about why this is in news. Then we will discuss about how these COP meetings came into existence. That means the evolution of UNFCCC, which stands for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. Then we will discuss about recent development in COP meetings and India's intended nationally determined contributions, that is INDC, at COP 26 and 27. Later, in the end of this video, we are going to discuss about India's initiative at international levels, such as International Solar Alliance, as well as Coalition for Disaster Resilience Infrastructure. Such kind of initiative we will discuss. Okay, so these are going to be the video components, and the syllabus mapping is this particular video is related to General Studies paper 3, and that is environment. Okay, now without any further delay, let us go to why it is in news. The COP 28 meeting already started. Of course, once the COP 28 meeting is ended, we will discuss the outcomes. Meanwhile, you have to know about the previous COP meetings and the India's interactions in the COP meetings. First, India and COP. India is obviously becoming influential voice over the period of time on behalf of the developing nations, and India is becoming more assertive over the proposed key measures. As India's economic power is getting influential, India is becoming more assertive in regarding these global platforms. So these COP meetings are organized by UNFCCC. UNFCCC stands for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. This is the full form. UNFCCC signed in 1992 in the Earth Summit, that is a Rio Summit. In that meeting, this framework was signed in 1992. Then it was started implemented since 1994. Based on this, first COP meeting was held in 1995. So tell me students, where was the first COP meeting was held? COP first meeting was held in which city? This UNFCCC Secretariat present in Bonn, Germany. And 2015 COP 21, that is Paris Climate Agreement. For Paris Climate Agreement, the mother agreement is UNFCCC. That means UNFCCC is providing the broad framework. As a part of the UNFCCC, the Paris Climate Agreement was signed on the lines of COP 21. India started participating since 1992, that means from the beginning, since the Rio Earth Summit, where this UNFCCC came into existence, and India is trying to ensure that the burden of the climate change is not disproportionately fall on the developing countries. That means India is always saying that the burden of the climate change should be shared the developed nations as well, not just because they contributed to the emissions, but also because they have the resources in terms of the finance and in terms of the technology as well. So India is always advocating that developed nations have to take much responsibility. That was reflected in the form of the CBDR-C. This was proposed in COP 3 Kyoto Protocol in 1997. It is based mainly strongly on the principle common but differentiated responsibility and respective capabilities. CBDR-C stands for common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities. This is the full form of CBDR and RC. It is emphasizing that to fight the climate change, the rich, the developed countries, they must take the responsibility, not just because of their contribution to the emissions, but because of the resources they are having and because of the capacity to act. Because of that, developed countries, they have to take much responsibility. But this was never materialized. As the COP meetings are going on, this provision got diluted. So to overcome this, as a solution, recently we came up with the INDC, intended nationally determined contributions, that erased the gap between the developed and developing country contributions. Now both developed as developing countries, they are contributing similarly. In spite of all these efforts, when Donald Trump was US president, he was criticized about this COP 25, COP 26, and even USA announced that they exited from the COP 21 Paris Climate Agreement. Of course, later Joe Biden government, they agreed to come into this agreement on their own voluntarily. Now they are a part of Paris Climate Agreement. India's in recent COP meetings. COP21, India completely against the phasing out of the fossil fuels. India blocked the final draft outcome in the last minute, and India proposed that instead of the phasing out of the fossil fuels, that phrase should be replaced with phasing down. That means rather than 100% eliminating the fossil fuels, we have to reduce the fossil fuels, because 100% elimination of fossil fuels, that can be possible only to the developed countries. Developing countries, they don't have resources and they don't have a technology as well. Then COP27, then India proposed that we have to phase down all types of fossil fuels, not just the coal. Of course, it requires a lot of attention and a lot of commitment from various countries. Then only these kind of things will be implemented. Okay, and of course in the COP27, even the loss and damage control fund was also proposed. When India participated in the COP26, India rearranged its goals, and our Prime Minister proposed our realigned goals in the form of the Panchamrit at COP26. These Panchamrits are: by 2030, we would like to reach non-fossil based energy to the 500 gigawatts, and by 2030, out of entire energy, 50% energy will be contributed from renewable energy. Third one, by 2030, we would like to cut down 1 billion carbon emissions from India point of view. By 2030, our carbon intensity will be reduced by more than 45%. That means we are reducing the dependency on carbon. And the fifth one is India would like to achieve the net zero carbon by 2070. That means carbon emissions and carbon absorptions are going to be same by 2070. These are the India's commitment at COP26. And in COP21, that is Paris Climate Agreement, we promised certain goals that we will achieve, and we rearranged these goals. Just now I read to you, and now our targets are these things at COP26. COP26 was held at Glasgow, you know that. And India initiative at global level to prevent the climate change. The first one is very popular one, International Solar Alliance. India started this initiative with France. It is about capturing solar energy and forming an alliance which includes countries which are having much solar energy. These countries are generally present between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. And the secretariat of this International Solar Alliance present at Gurugram. Then Coalition of Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. It is about encouraging countries to build the infrastructure which is resilient towards a disaster. Okay. So, and if countries are not having any technology, countries present in this group, they help each other. Of course, the secretariat of this CDRA also present in India. This is the second initiative India took recently. And the third one is Mission LiFE. Mission LiFE is about the lifestyle for environment. It was announced by our Prime Minister in 2021 on the lines of the COP26. This is about changing our lifestyle towards environment friendly. Okay, so replacing the use and disposed economy with a circular economy, so that our waste generation also will be very less. So this is the recent mission we launched. This is about Mission LiFE. So these are the various initiatives launched by India at a global level. Okay. Now let's see yesterday's video question. Which of the following countries borders the Gulf of Aden? It is about Yemen. Yemen is the country which is bordering the Gulf of Aden. Now let's see today's video question. Today's video question is, which of the following cities hosted the COP26 summit in 2021? So which country hosted this? Then mains question. India is an influential voice for developing countries at the annual COP events, like I said just now. What are India's climate commitments? Okay, this is also we discussed. And what role has India played in the recent COP? That it can be COP28 upcoming one or COP27 based on when you are writing the exam. This is the mains question. Now, as we reach to the end of this video, just we will do some quick revision regarding this video. In this video, we mainly discussed about COP meetings and India's interactions with COP meeting. As a part of that, we discussed about UNFCCC and how COP meetings got evolved and how India interactions changed and how the developed countries' responsibilities also changed, and we also discussed about India's recent interaction in COP26 and COP27, and we also discussed about India's initiatives at international level. So this is the detailed analysis about India interaction at COP meetings. Thank you.